on this episode of the Third Gallon Podcast.
Behold, Donut. Be afraid.
Behold my donut.
After finishing their heist and escaping through the scrapyard, Micah's angels finally make it back to the saloon.
Down a minor side street in the grimy, smog-clogged Ferris quarter of Alkenstar lies a squat, nondescript two-story building whose weathered sign reads, The Barrel and Bullet Saloon. Drinks, meals, and fireproof rooms.
Fireproof?
They finally cash in on their hard-earned loot.
Y'all got the chest that you got from the bank propped up on the table. So once you crack the box open after filling Dunsmith in on your tail, you find a whole hunk of gold. You find 250 GP.
That's not all for us, though.
No.
Yeah, we're splitting it.
Still, that's a lot of money.
And get ready for the next job.
For this next job, she slides...
Is it a person?
Indeed it is. She slides this broadsheet across the table, and it advertises Vashon Gattleby's Pyronite exhibition at Blythier College.
Oh, no.
Get ready for some downtime.
This job is all about testing your metal, and you've proved your metal is quite up to the task, if I do say so myself.
Thank you.
Yeah,
It's a steel alloy.
That's funny.
Now.
This one's going to be interesting. I'm just going to start off saying that this one's going to be interesting. It's 2 hours after we arrived here to record. Part of that is because I had to cook some food. Part of that is because I just held my arms up to start our silence before recording for like 2 minutes straight. And it took a while just to even get to that point. So today might be a little spicy.
It might be the second episode of the first episode.
Yeah.
It's first episode of the day, and it's already
The second episode of the day.
Yeah, we're already at second episode brain.
I would like to apologize. This is 90% my fault, and it is because I am recovering from surgery, and I have prescription-grade painkillers inside of my body right now.
Woo!
I don't think it's really the medicine, sparking you into this. I think it's just the medicine unlocking the gremlin inside of you already.
I think it's giving you an excuse to unleash your gremlin.
We also haven't recorded in 2 weeks.
And those always are the spicy ones.
That's right. Ow.
Bring it.
That's right.
Way to go.
But before we...
I want to slap you too. Come here.
Oh my God, shut up.
Thank you.
Jacob just winced in pain after
that
slapping
sounded
himself.
painful.
Well, before we slap ourselves completely silly, we actually have some responses from our little Google form.
Uh-oh.
We got some rules questions.
Uh-oh. We already fucked it up.
No, someone had a question. One thing, before we get to the Google form response, is someone had commented after on episode 6 when we talked about alignment stuff. Someone commented, it was Mr. A3523. It's a hard username to read.
Hi.
With my mouth.
We love you.
What's it like living with Elon Musk?
Oh my God. But he mentioned that there's actually a variant rule in the Game Master's Guide called Extreme Alignment.
What is that? I don't have the Game Master's Guide.
Ooh, that's fun.
And since my favorite website is
Especially
Chrome,
since
I can't
we're
get
on
it.
extreme alignment.
Yeah, so this is a variant rule from the Game Master's Guide, page 184, called Extreme Good and Evil. In this variant, some creatures exemplify the concepts of extreme good and evil by their very nature. Only fiends, celestials, and other residents of aligned outer spheres or outer sphere planes have an alignment. Remove most alignment restrictions, such as the cleric and champion restrictions, but not ones related to those extraplanar creatures. Replace
I like that.
the removed restrictions with appropriate anathema if necessary. Which I think is very neat. And it's basically about mostly what we already kind of do anyway.
Yeah.
We only really care about it if you do something that is drastically out of your personality, which we don't usually do because we're good at playing.
We have your mechanical alignment that we just kind of pick for mechanic reasons, and then you are limited by that. If I had more time to kind of work with stuff and do anathema, I probably would do that. But as it is, I'm kind of satisfied with what we do. of just having the mechanical alignment.
I don't know if we've talked about alignment before anyway, and I don't know if it's as big a deal. Like, not when I think of alignment, I think of a lot of the class stuff because there are also spells. I don't know if it's as big a deal just in general for second edition as it is in first. Like in first edition, it mattered for specific classes, but then it also mattered for spells. Like a lawful good cleric could not summon an evil or a chaotic summoned creature. So it actually affected what you could summon. I don't know if that's the case in second edition.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I would want to have, I don't have enough knowledge of the system to get into all that, but if I did and was more comfortable with knowing all that, I would probably just be fine to use that variant rule. And I think it's a good one. It's just I'm not as versed in second edition as I am in something like first edition, just because of the sheer size and how new we are to it. But I think it's a good variant rule, and it just its existence kind of reinforces my belief that alignments. I understand their place, but they're not necessarily for me in the games I kind of want to run.
Fun fact: second edition is more strict on that.
I thought it would be.
It's actually, I do like how second edition does it. It's basically, you can't summon a creature unless its alignment is one of your deity's preferred alignments. Because like if you're a cleric, your magic comes from your deity. That makes sense. I think the one that got me though was at the GM's discretion, some deities might restrict specific types of fiends, even if their alignments match. Yeah, and this was summon fiend.
Yeah, and that's the kicker that I have to get into, because that's like gets into the whole outer plane stuff. And there'd be a lot of rulings we'd have to make and keep up with. And if I knew all the details of the system a lot better, I'd be more comfortable just doing that. But we've already started this campaign, so I'm kind of willing to move forward with it with the system we have, because it's also well established.
Well, I like that in particular because that's not based off of your alignment. It's your deity's alignment. And
that is true.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, but there's more than just that. It's also like, we could play the paladin subclass of champion, and then you'd have to figure out, like, I guess, can you still worship what gods can you worship when you do that? Is there any sort of restrictions on what you can do? Your
alignments have to match up, basically.
Well, no, if you're playing with the variant rule, right? Yeah, there's questions around that. Again, I think it's really good. I think if we were going to start another Pathfinder 2nd Edition campaign sometime in the far future, I probably would start with that variant rule. But as is, I'm willing to let our home rule kind of stand for this one because we're used to it. The other question we had was the one written in on the forum, and that's from our good friend Pete in the UK, Bridgie P on YouTube.
Bridgie P.
And he...
Hi, we love you.
He wanted to know about the death and dying rules. After a couple party members had a close call, in parentheses, in episode 6, wondering if you could expand on the death and dying rules for the listening audience. Thanks. And thank you for submitting that in Bridgie P. We dealt with death and dying in our test session, so we kind of skimmed over it. Yeah. Mostly to keep the combat moving. But yeah, death and dying works differently in this. If you're familiar with 5th edition, you have the whole, death saves thing. And 1st edition Pathfinder, you actually have negative hit points. And when your hit points are your negative hit points equal your con. So if you have 15 con, you get to negative 15 hit points, you die. In 2nd edition, it's a step closer to 5e.
It's like a weird combination of the both of them.
Yeah. Dying is like a condition, and when you get to dying 4, you dead.
Well, it's so whenever in 2nd edition, because I got it right here, in 2nd edition, when you get to 0, you stop at 0. There is no negative. Right. And when you hit 0, you become dying 1. If you get hit with a critical hit, you become dying 2. On your turn, because you're unconscious and dying, you get to make a flat roll, and the DC you have to meet is 10 plus your current dying condition. So at dying 1, if you roll an 11, you're good. If you roll less than 11, you're not good.
And you go up.
If you succeed, your dying condition lessens by 1. And if you get to essentially dying 0, you are stabilized, you're unconscious, and you're wounded 1. We'll get back to wounded.
Yeah.
If you fail, your dying condition increases by 1. If you end up increasing all the way to dying 4, you're dead.
Yeah.
No ifs, ands, or buts. If you're wounded and you get to 0, you become dying whatever your dying condition is plus
Right.
what your wounded condition was.
And on
And
those,
so on and so forth.
on the dying recovery checks, the whole degrees of success thing applies as well. DC 10 plus your dying value. If you have toughness like Alonzo did, it's 9 plus your dying value.
Which is really nice.
Right. But if you get a critical success, you reduce your dying value by 2. If you get a critical failure, your dying value increases by 2. So that plays in there as well. But yeah, wounded. Did you already go over it? Or did
Yeah, wounded. If you get hit and you become dying 1, but you have wounded 1, you become dying 2.
Right.
And if you're at wounded 1, when you become dying and you get out of that, you become wounded 2. It increases the more you go down and get up.
Right.
And then the other important thing is instead of you get rid of your wounded condition by either being at max hit points with magic and resting for 10 minutes, or having someone do a successful first aid check on you.
treat wounds.
Treat wounds, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
And then the other little exception, if you're about to die and you don't roll good, you can spend all of your hero points to just go to 0 and be stabilized.
Yep.
And I also believe you don't get the wounded condition when you use your hero points.
Yeah, and the wounded thing is a little complicated, admittedly, but it exists because if you've played 5e and you've been in some deadly encounters, you know that you can do the whole fall down, pop up thing on repeat a lot.
And some people might be upset at that, but you also have to keep in mind that Pathfinder 2nd Edition, you're intended for the most part to go into every combat at full HP.
Yeah, it definitely gives you the tools to do that fairly easily. Yeah, in first edition Pathfinder, I don't feel like you really dealt with the up and down so much because generally if you went down,
You stayed down till the end of the fight.
till the end of the fight.
Yeah.
Unless you had a cleric, and we almost never did.
Because getting you
The
back
good old days.
up enough, it was just really dangerous. If you were down,
Yeah.
you were relatively safe unless you get caught in like AoE stuff. Like because very
Have
few
a
things,
spiteful bad guy.
yeah, very few things are going to go after you while you're down, but it does happen. But then in 1E as well, if you got healed, you'd probably be in like the 10s at best hit points.
Yeah.
And that's like the most dangerous place to be because if you get hit with especially like a crit, you can go from like 10 HP
To negative 50.
to negative, yeah, and you're dead. One hit,
Dead.
gone.
Yeah.
That's what we call hella dead.
Yeah, that's what happened to Dayrak 1E. It's brutal.
Yeah, you burnt real nice.
I burnt real good.
Same thing happened to Brick in that same area.
You burnt real nice as well.
No, I got chopped in half.
There's explosions. It's all fire involved.
Chopped in half by an
Oh,
axe.
you're talking about the king.
king,
I was thinking
yeah.
about the fireball.
Or
We
you
were
could
talking about
be,
the necklace of fireballs.
You got chopped.
Oh, and
hella in
getting your
half.
throat ripped out.
Yeah.
Ah, so many deaths, so little time.
Yeah, there was a lot of death in that one.
A lot of
Oh, man.
dying. A lot of coming back.
But I like the death and dying rules in 2E a lot. I think it does a good job. It kind of reminds me a little bit, maybe not in terms of mechanics, but in terms of the feel it evokes of Forbidden Lands. Because Forbidden Lands was really good at making you afeared when you get broken.
Yeah.
When you get broken, you're probably not going to die, but you really afeared because you could die. And in 2E, whenever you get to dying and everything, it's not nearly as bad as it was in 1E, but it's still real spooky. So I like the balance of it. And then I also really like Wounded because I haven't played as much 5e as I've played like Pathfinder. I've listened to a lot of 5e content, and the bouncing up and down from dying to alive is
happens a
kind
lot.
of ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's fine, but it happens a lot. I like that they've developed a system to kind of deal with that problem. But yeah, that's Death and Dying. And remember, guys, if you have any rules questions or if you want to send in like comments or corrections, you can comment on YouTube. But also, we link a Google form in our episode, so you can write into us, and we'll try to respond on there. It just might take a hot couple weeks because of how far ahead we like to record.
Hey, listen, you guys stay cool. And be nice.
Yeah, guys, stay cool. 'Cause it's-
Recording ahead is how we maintain a weekly release
Listen,
schedule.
I do not want to relive August and September 2021 ever again.
No.
That was a dangerous time.
Hot time.
Oh, it was dangerous. I'll never forget at the end of September having one episode left in the can and recording and like trying to schedule that Saturday. I was like, if this don't happen,
Listen,
bad stuff's going to happen.
Yep.
I loved my mandated 2-week vacation.
Woo! Anyway. Well, with that out of the way, we got some interesting new mechanic stuff to get into in this episode. We got some downtime.
Downtime.
Y'all ready for some downtime?
What about Updog?
Oh my God.
What's up, dog?
Centuries before the Star Stone was raised, the Wizard Kings next engaged warred with one another, scarring the land between them into a devastated, unstable magic wasteland. From the glowing ashes of the Mana Wastes arose Alkenstar, the city of smog, a metropolis of airships, skyscrapers, factories, and clockwork wonders. To the world, Alkenstar is the pinnacle of innovation and determination in the face of insurmountable odds.
Calm down.
On its streets, life in Alkenstar is a non-stop race to stay ahead of the competition. And it is here that a desperate group, hungry for revenge, living on the edge of the law, hunts for the ones who cast them out. They are the Outlaws of Alkenstar. So for the audience that didn't get to see that, which you know is everybody, as I read this prompt...
The audience who didn't get to see.
I usually get a little animated with my hands and I do gestures and stuff, and Jacob was mocking me, and so I started doing gestures that ended in flipping the bird at Jacob, and he thought it was very humorous.
Audience blob saw it.
Audience blob saw it.
That's right. Nebulous audience blob.
Nebulous
Jacob's
audience blob.
nebulous blob of audience is always to his right.
No, it's in the hallway. It's right there.
So when we last left Micah's Angels, you guys had just left the Wailing Scrapyard. You fought the good gnolls. You got a reward from the Nail Gobblers. I know we kind of, at the end of last episode, moved a little quickly for time's sake. As much as I wanted to have 20 minutes of talking as Lord Glass and Gomac before you left, we did have to move a little bit.
Yeah.
But you made your way through the sewer system with the map you found off of one of the gnolls. You realized that I think you overheard some of the shield marshals talking.
Miss Angelique Lovelace.
Miss Angelique Lovelace on your way out, and it seems like you'd lost them for good, and you made it back to the Barrel and Bullet Saloon. And that's kind of where we left you guys. But before we hop back into the Barrel and Bullet Saloon, we got something else to do mechanically, and that is leveling up. Yeah, we said at the end of the last episode that you guys leveled up, and we've taken care of that off air, but I figured we should go around the room real quick and talk about the level up you guys took. And an important thing to note, we're playing with a variant rule at this table. We're playing with the free archetype rule. So at this level, all of you guys are going to get to pick your free archetype. Who wants to start us off?
There's a lot of rule stuff this episode too.
It's pretty rule
I'll
heavy.
start us off.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't often go first. I will go first. Alonzo, as a rogue, got 2 new feats and the chance for a free archetype. So I took the Gunslinger dedication because my boy has learned he needs to get with the times. And have a better chance at doing damage other than piercing.
Yeah.
So I now have Unbalancing Blow, which will allow me, if I make a critical, then my target is flat-footed against my attacks until the end of my next turn.
Ooh, that's good.
So I can't wait to use that. And then I also took Intimidating Glare, so I can demoralize with a mere glare.
With a glaze.
With a glaze. I really almost said glaze.
With a donut.
Hands, extends hand with glazed donut.
Behold, donut. Be afraid.
Behold my donut.
I was holding
For
up
the
a donut.
audience, yeah. I held up a donut to my eye.
We very often get donuts before recording.
Maybe that's why we're so
I
crazy.
think-
We have a sugar high.
I think we've had a donut before recording consistently for like the last 5
Peek
recording
behind
sessions.
the screen
Donut melon
as your
sugar high.
producer. There's a reason I get us donut or coffee and sweets before we record
Oh my god.
to dial it up.
Do nothing to me. Your methods are weak.
You don't need dialing up.
That's right.
Anyway, that's what happened to Alonzo.
Yeah, so I guess for you, the Gunslinger dedication, it really doesn't do a lot for you at this level. It'll really kick in like at 4 and 6 when you get more stuff from it, I think, right?
I just feel like if I didn't get it, how could I truly be a denizen of Alkenstar?
I mean, you're right.
As an outlaw of Alkenstar.
Yeah, and so for the audience out there who might be new to 2nd edition, if you're coming from 1st edition Pathfinder, You're probably familiar with archetypes, but that's usually you take with your class at like first level or whatnot. But archetypes in this game are in between 1E archetypes and multi-classing. There is no like separate multi-classing thing. They're just called multi-class archetypes. So if I wanted to multi-class, a fighter and a wizard, I would take my fighter level at level 1 and at level 2. Instead of taking a feat, I would take the wizard multi-class dedication feat, which kind of buys me into some of the wizard special abilities, right? And what we're doing with the free archetype rule is basically you get an archetype for free. You don't have to spend your feats on it. Anytime that you normally would have a feat that you spend on your, or you would have to spend on multi-classing stuff or archetype stuff, you just get that for free. So you get one free.
It's level 2 on every other level after that.
Yeah.
Every even level.
Right. And I know there is multi-classing in 5e, but a little different. But yeah, the archetypes in this game are really good because this game is more about, abilities and synergizing like your mechanics together. And having a free archetype gives you a lot more tools, especially with a 3-person party to do that.
Yeah.
But it's really, really cool. I love it a lot. As someone who is a big fan of archetypes in 1E Pathfinder, this is like right up my alley. And Jacob, you want to tell us what you did with Chester, just leveled up Williams?
On account
On account of how he just leveled up.
Yeah, I can do that. So I got a hurt. All right.
What level is hurt?
I got
Right next to
so
pain.
at level 2, everybody gets a skill increase, a skill feat, and then like a class feat as well.
Right.
That's how this game works. Is it's like everybody gets feats for everything rather than just specific abilities, except for level 1. For my skill feat, I chose Crafter's Appraisal, which lets me appraise alchemical, it lets me identify magic on magic items with my crafting roll.
Ooh.
Sweet.
And then for my class feat, I got one that let me add my devise a stratagem stuff to athletics checks for like disarming someone or tripping someone or shoving them and stuff like that. And I'm hoping that's the right decision. I'm hesitant on it, but I'm going with it. And then for my free archetype, I chose Alchemist.
Oh, yes.
And because I chose Alchemist and it gave me a feat that I already had, we've also decided that if you get like doubles or even triples, because I had that problem, of a feat, you can get an appropriate leveled feat that makes sense for you. So when I got that, I also got the feat Arcane Sense, which lets me cast Detect Magic as an arcane spell. Ooh. Or I may have got Arcane Sense as my skill feat, and then Crafter's Appraisal as my replacement crafting feat, because it was also level 1.
Interesting.
And whatnot. And then I've also, because I chose Alchemist, got a whole bunch more formulas, and I also got, let me get back there, the ability to use a light version of the infused alchemical of the infused reagents and advanced alchemy that the alchemist gets, but mine's very, very light compared to theirs because it's a multi-class dedication.
Yeah, that's the thing with the whole not just archetypes, but specifically the multi-class archetypes. Whereas Cat multi-classed archetyped into Gunslinger and really didn't get a lot except for some proficiency stuff that you already had and some skill stuff. Some of them you can get a lot at the first dedication feat. Like Alchemist. Most of them, though, like Gunslinger, don't really pop off till at level 4 or 6 when you start getting, more abilities from that class. But that's pretty cool.
So I went from having like 4 crafting formulas to having 8 or 10.
Damn.
And, so I know how to make a lot of stuff. I just gotta actually make it.
You a moonshiner now?
I could be.
Could be. All right, Drow.
Can vampires get drunk?
Oh my god. Just got to drink the blood off an intoxicated person. So Drow, I know we've kind of already gotten into your archetype a little bit, but you want to tell us what you got at level 2?
I became less in tune with the ability to control my magic.
Oh, beautiful.
And by that, I mean now I can explode endlessly.
Yes.
At the beginning of every combat, I have the... it's not an option. I have to roll a d20, make the flat 6 check.
But you can get those spell slots back.
To either get a spell slot back or something else.
Just like brick, you can explode endlessly.
Observe.
Oh my god. So
by getting more powerful, you lose more control.
Just to explain the friend group lore here, Drow's OG character Brick, who was a Drow,
have to-
the
Which is why I
titular
am Drow.
Let them be confused.
at level like 3 or 4 had a necklace of Fireball, and this is in D&D 3.5.
was not very.
This
It
was
was like
2.
level 2.
Yeah, this was
We were weak sauce.
This was one of our first things, and I threw the fireball pearl at my feet. It exploded. The necklace failed the save. It exploded. The next bead failed the save. It exploded. I was bounced around the room several times. I killed the vampire, also a party member.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, I was dead. I was a charred corpse. And Derek's paladin had to drag my ass back to the surface.
I made a meme about this recently. It's like, I am a sanctioned sorcerer. Observe. I'll put this up in the video if I can. God. That was such a good time. Anyway, what else did you get? I know you also got a feat at this level, right?
Yeah, I got I was able to get attuned to a sister discipline for my oracle bullshit.
Ooh.
And now I am an oracle of life and death.
Does that give
Nice.
you negative bad touch stuff?
No, but it heals me whenever I see something die.
Oh, the
That's-
flesh is weak and it
that's fun.
empowers you to see it crumble.
Lovely, typical vampirism video game mechanic.
Yeah. They
Does-
are temporary hit points.
That's still.
Hey, temporary schmemporary.
Does,
They will keep me up, though.
That's right.
does the death have to be caused by you
No,
or anyone?
I have to see it.
Sweet.
You're just gonna go to a morgue?
I have to see
They're,
it
they're
die.
already dead.
Well, I mean,
Oh, you go to a hospital and,
My
or something like that. It's like this is the dumb rules like in 1E with you remember the hungry ghost monk, where technically if you got a bag of rats and punched them and killed some,
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Can I help you? No, I'm just looking right now.
I went to watch the dead people.
Fantastic.
Hello, little Timmy.
This is
Not getting better? Oh, that's a shame.
This is not helping Psycheer's image.
Hey, what did they say last? We talked about alignment, good, evil.
They said you are forgiven.
Psycheer is supposed to be scary.
Yeah.
There is supposed to be something deeply unsettling about Psycheer.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There
Mission
is.
accomplished.
There is.
Sure is. Well, since we handled all the level up stuff, why don't we move on to some downtime?
Oh.
I thought it would be fun. There's a little bit of a description text of the Barrel and Bullet Saloon. Although your characters are already in it, I thought it'd be fun to start off our little session where we picked up and read some of that text for you guys.
Oh, feed me.
Down a miner's side street in the grimy, smog-clogged Ferris quarter of Alkenstar lies a squat, nondescript two-story building whose weathered sign reads, The Barrel and Bullet Saloon. Drinks, meals, and fireproof rooms. It's a dingy, white plaster and off-center...
Fireproof?
It's an off-center porch. Encourage the refined guest to look elsewhere. Indeed, the cosmopolitan traveler who does not venture inside is likely to be greeted with derogatory comments from a goggle-clad goblin inventor or by rude stares from a hard-drinking patron long since mutated by the wild magic of the Mana Wastes.
Oh, this is my fault.
To mitigate
Not
this
your.
reception, the dwarven gunslinger behind the bar, Phoebe Dunsmith, is always ready to share a welcoming word and a drink on the house. Even so, this is a kind of bar where an introduction or a good deal of diplomatic hard work is necessary to navigate the dwarven desperados, goblin grenadiers, irascible inventors, and hard-drinking hoodlums who make up the unruly crowd of regulars.
I love alliteration.
Jumping into a high-stakes game of boot beer, an unexplainably popular guessing game in which players try to hide as much beer on their person as possible, or wagering on a hand of cards can win friends, but it can also just as easily make enemies. And no night at the Barrel and Bullet seems complete without at least one knockdown, drag-out bar fight.
Perfect.
And this is where you guys are.
Yeah.
fight,
Would you guys
fight,
like to
fight,
go
fight.
to the map? We have a map of this place.
A map of the bar?
We're gonna fight in this bar.
Let me have a bar fight. Bar fight. Bar fight.
Parkour. Baby. I put you guys in the bar.
Ooh,
Who's the green?
We'll get to the people in the bar here in a minute. When we
is
last
that
left...
a tiefling?
Is that a Lashunta? Oh no, those are horns.
Oh my goodness. When we last left you guys, y'all was in one of the side rooms here with Phoebe Dunsmith. It was
we was?
You was. Y'all got the chest that you got from the bank propped up on the table. And Phoebe Dunsmith's ready to work on it, unless, Alonzo, you want to take the lead here on it.
I guess the metagamey question is Phoebe better at thievery than me?
I can tell you. What is your bonus to thievery?
My thievery is now plus 10. I upped it to expert.
Phoebe has the notable advantage of story.
Exactly, that's what I'm concerned about.
I'll say she's probably a little bit, at least just as good as you, if not maybe a little bit better. More for story reasons for this particular chest, but you can absolutely crack it. And I wouldn't even, because you're like out of the bank, you can basically just do it.
Take time.
Take my time.
Yeah, mechanically, there's not the same thing as like taking 20 as there was in 1E, but just the only risk you would really run is busting your like tools. But like I know your bonus and I know the DC, and I would be willing to just let you, if you wanted to, you could crack it.
Because I'd love to.
Cool. Well, as Alonzo is working on this chest, trying to, listen to the little combination and get the clicks going on, Phoebe says she brings out some food for you guys and says, "Y'all smell terrible. What happened? How'd it go? Obviously, you got some loot."
It all things considered, it went pretty good.
There are substantially less guards now.
That's good. You took out most of them then?
Yeah, made friends with some goblins.
You have any trouble at the bank?
There was a teller and a manager, I believe.
Some heavy canoodling.
Oh,
Yes, we happened to walk in on the more interesting part of a workplace relationship.
goddamn. Well, you did go there after dark, so I guess that makes
I
a
just
little
don't
tiny bit of
understand what would
sense.
be so titillating about a bank.
Yeah, there's better places to,
Hey, I don't know, man. Some people get off on money. Literally.
but they weren't on money. They were.
I need to
wow.
go wash every coin I own.
Alonzo just kind of looks up from his lock picking for a second, says, "We had more trouble in the whale and scrapyard than the bank, I'd say."
Was there anything in there? I thought that the rumors about it being haunted were just
The
nothing.
machine spirit was there.
Yeah, there was a literal machine
We
spirit.
witnessed it when we set it
What?
free.
It's weird.
Weird.
The harpy's kiss was upset to be there.
That's some sort of...
Some kind of horseless dirigible.
Oh, one of the horse-drawn dirigibles? They had one of them in there? I haven't seen one of those in
Sans
years.
the horses, there were just skeletons.
Sakir had a religious experience.
I mean, most experiences with spirits are usually religious.
I ate rat.
You ate rat?
Yeah.
Who fed you some rat?
Goblins.
A
Goblins?
charming
Made a
little
goblin
group of
friend.
goblins.
Yeah, if we ever in need of friends, they aren't too big of fans of the shield marshals either. So
Well, that's fair, but then again, not a lot of people are fans of the shield marshals around here.
yeah, but they really weren't.
Y'all wear them hats I gave you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that should keep the law from looking for you or knowing who you is, so,
Wait, then how did they know who we were?
Who?
Angelique Loveless.
They didn't.
They didn't.
They just knew that somebody robbed the
Yeah.
bank.
So
Yeah.
they just shot at us.
Yes.
Yeah, because we robbed the bank.
Okay. It just so happened to be that I was the one that they shot at.
Yes.
yes.
Okay. Coincidence.
Indeed.
There was a 1 in 3 chance.
There was a 1 in 3 chance. Yeah, you're right. Behind the screen, you're the one that failed the roll first.
Oh yeah.
I gotcha.
So once you crack the box open after filling Dunsmith in on your tail, you find a whole hunk of gold. You find 250 GP.
That's not all for us though.
No.
Yeah, we're splitting it.
Still, that's a lot of money.
And she will give you, what I'm going to say is the book says to give each character like 25 gold worth of that.
Yeah.
And that's assuming a 4-player party. I'm going to give you each 25 gold and then another 25 for a party pool.
Ooh, all right.
Because I know that's what we normally like to do. And it keeps the math simple.
25 gold.
And as she hands out the money to now, y'all can keep that bag of holding. It seems like y'all put it to good use than I ever had. But
Thank you.
I am gonna need your hats back, as cool as they are.
How much did they cost you?
Well, if you want to buy them off me, you can buy them for 15 gold.
I am not opposed to this.
15 gold each.
Is there a chance that I could talk you down to 12?
Make a diplomacy check, I guess. I'll take a diplomacy check. This feels very Witcher-esque.
22.
What do you say?
To help increase our productivity with this blooming new friendship, this blooming new business relationship that thus far has been more than successful, do you think you could cut us a deal?
Well, you know what? Y'all did do real good. I heard of the bank getting robbed, but no one has any idea who did it. The only guess they have is some sort of bandanaed fools and a hairless cat, also wearing a bandana. And that is way off of you guys. So yeah, I'll knock it down to 12 gold.
Will these hats be important for our next little mission together?
I mean, it's up to what kind of profile you want to keep, but you probably don't need them.
I will keep mine then.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, we're getting it at like less than half its book price, so it's a deal.
You're gonna buy yours as well?
I'm gonna buy it.
Alrighty. Well, yeah, you can buy them for 12 gold. It's pretty good for what it's worth. Do you have any questions for Dunsmith as you've split this up?
Do you have any ideas what we're doing next? You said you had some plans for this money.
To fund our next adventure together.
You hungry for more, eh? Well,
I just need to plan. I'm big on planning in the head, so I was just curious.
well, I understand y'all hungry for more. I got some more stuff coming for you, but you know this job is all about testing your metal, and you've proved your metal is quite up to the task, if I do say so myself.
Thank you.
Yeah,
It's a steel alloy.
That's funny. I have
that's funny.
I had just a job in mind for you folks. She starts swirling the dregs of her whiskey glass. It's a little bit of a grin. She sets the drink down and stands up, and she unholsters her shotgun in one fluid motion, and then sets that firearm like on the table where you guys are working. She says, now, suddenly, realize that I have a lot of dirt on each of you, don't I? Armed robbery, obstruction of justice, evading the law, quite a rap sheet. She set all the stuff down, and she leans against the bar and stretches casually. Guess this means I should tell you something about me. I'm not just a saloon owner, for starters. And she removes her holster and sets it on the bar next to the not the bar, but on the table next to the shotgun. In fact, I work for a very powerful person, someone that you're no doubt familiar with. She puts one hand in her vest and palms something, and extends her closed hand. And inside you see a small signet ring that exhibits the distinctive symbol of the Grand Duchy of Alkenstar. Does Grand Duchess Triaderica ring a bell?
Does it?
That's the person who's like the president of Alkenstar.
Okay.
To put it in perspective, that's the current ruler of Alkenstar.
Oh wow, you're pretty high up there then, aren't
gods.
Yeah, see, I thought so.
you? I don't know how I'd call that dirt, but okay.
She can barely contain her smirk, and she's a little thrilled with the theatrics. He says, what this means is, since you work for me, you're actually working for the Grand Duchess.
You mean we robbed a bank on government orders?
A little bit like that.
Oh, we go scot-free!
Does that mean I get immunity?
A little bit of qualified immunity. Trust me, it's good to have friends in high places. Besides, now that we're all formally acquainted, it's about time that the real fun began, don't you think?
I like fun.
So I'm going to tell you what this is all about. She starts pacing back and forth a little bit. For this next job, Duchess has asked us to secure some very precious cargo. She slides.
Is it a person?
Indeed it is. She slides this
Hey, good call.
broadsheet across the table, and it advertises Vashon Gattleby's Pyro Night exhibition at Blythier College.
Oh, no.
The poster includes a wood print of a harried human man in his 50s, presumably Gattleby, and some hyperbolic copy of promoting the once-in-a-lifetime explosive showcase. I'm sure you've all heard of Gattleby and his Pyro Night, yeah?
This is Is this the same college that Chester went to?
Yeah.
I sure have.
It's the talk of the town ever since he leveled half of Blythere's largest auditorium. But Gattleb's invention has gotten him a lot of admirers recently, and everyone in Alkenstar wants a piece of that man, or at least a piece of his new invention. And thankfully for us, Gattleb's turned down everyone who's offered to hire him or buy the Pyronite formula from him. He's been able to hold off his prospectors from the safety of his own home so far. He can't hold down in that puny brick-and-mortar fortress forever. Fortunately, the Grand Duchess and I have managed to convince Gattleby that he'd be better off here in the saloon's workshop, where no one else will know his location. He's game, and now we just have to get him from point A to point B. And that's where you guys come in. We need you to meet Gattleby at his home on the other side of the city and bring him back here to the Barrel and Bullet. Once he's here, I can keep him safe. Simple enough job, right? Just go get Gattleby and bring him back here, and I'll pay you 50 gold apiece, plus a bonus, to bring him back in one piece.
Well, now, I don't mean to be rude, but that's a lot of gold for a simple quest.
Yeah.
What ain't you telling us?
The other part is, I don't know who else is going after this man.
So you're saying we might have competition?
What I'm saying is Muglin and Lovelace desperately want that formula. That Pyronite formula, no doubt for some shady backroom deal they're hoping to make. And they haven't left a shred of evidence about their plans, but it's only a matter of time till they slip up. And I'm thinking that if you're trying to get him back here, then they're going to try to harry you along the way and intercept him.
I see.
I have an idea.
We kill him, and then we resurrect him here at the tavern.
I have 2 ideas.
Does Ascension count as one of them?
I love it's, killing them and resurrecting them solves all of your problems. What's your idea?
How large is this man?
Is about normal human man length.
I see. If we have the bag of holding emptied, and perhaps even one of the hats of disguise inside of it, we could take him to a second location, release him, and just have him walk about as a normal citizen.
That sounds like a pretty good idea, but you might get tracked along the way and still get harried.
We also got 10 minutes till he runs out of air in there?
Not a lot of time.
Doesn't the hat of disguise take like an hour to work too?
Well, it only
No.
works for about an hour,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
That's an idea. We just have to get out of there.
In an hour.
And the worst case scenario would be a great way to protect them too. That way they can't shoot them or something.
She she pinches her nose for a little bit and says, "Oh, and I just remembered something. It's part of our arrangement with getting Gattleby. He made us promise that he'd be able to make a pit stop along the way here. He's been holstered up for quite a while in his abode, but near Ironside Quarter, there's some abandoned brewery. I don't know why he wants to stop there, but he told us that he needs to stop at the Yeast of All Brewery on the way over here."
I love that name. This is Cat speaking.
I think that we should definitely scope that place out first.
Absolutely.
That'd probably be a good idea. Anyway, we don't have much time to get this done. Muggle and Lovelace are likely to make the grab for Gattleby soon. I got a feeling, and we want to strike first. Muglin's been
question.
moving. Yeah, go ahead.
Could you cause a distraction at the other side of town? I'm sure that you have connections that would be willing to start a ruckus.
Well, what kind of ruckus could I don't understand what kind of ruckus I could start that would draw Muglin's attention away from Gattleby, because he's kind of been focused on this.
Mostly just guards. Muglind with backup is much scarier than Muglind alone.
But the thing is, he doesn't leave much evidence. I know he's going after this because I can see him moving his money around and paying off some people, but I don't know who he's going to have, try to make this hit. If I knew a gang that he was using to hire to go after Gattleby, I could go after that gang and increase our odds, right? But I don't know that. Our best bet is just to have you hit first and grab Gattleby and get him back here.
Fair enough.
Anyway, yeah, we don't have a ton of time. They're going to make their move soon. I know it. Be ready for his mercenaries along the way and Lovelace's street gangs. You can, of course, scout the place, scout your route, scout that brewery if you want, and his house. Y'all got a couple days, like I said, about 4-ish days to get this done. Oh, and one more thing before y'all start putting together your plan. She takes off this badge kind of thing and puts it on top of the table where you guys are working. Show this to Gattleby and he'll know you're working with me.
We take it.
We pocket that.
We can start in about 4 days or so, or sooner if you're able, and give you some time off. Do you want to argue for more time?
I can't craft anything in 4 days. The base day is 4. It'd be no better than buying them.
Oh, man.
You go on. You've
done offended, Jacob.
I thought you said we had like 8
Oh, did I say a
days. I thought you had said like a good number of days.
Well, here's what I'll say. If you want to do crafting and only crafting on your downtime, I'll let you...
Crafting.
What's the difference between 4 and 5 days for you? Anything?
If I craft something in 4 days and only have 4 days, it's no different than buying the item.
When does it become a different thing for you?
After 4 days. So, okay, the way crafting works, you spend half of the item's resources up front and you craft for 4 days.
Uh-huh.
And then every day after that crafting, based off of your level and your proficiency, it decreases until it's, you lessen that second half until it's either you lessen all of it or it's a little bit by day. For instance, if I had 5 days, I could craft a potion and it would be 3 silver pieces cheaper than buying it, which isn't that much.
That's fair.
But like if I had multiple days, I have the potential to do better. Crafting in this game is interesting.
Well, if you want to do crafting, I'll tell you what, because you guys are a little understaffed, so to speak, I'll give you 4 days is the downtime amount, but I'll give you 6 mechanical days in terms of crafting. If you're only going to do crafting, I'll let it count for 6 days.
Find out what she has to say first.
Okay. Put it in reserve. Put a pin in it, right?
That's right.
But yeah, she says, in the meantime, I know some of y'all's trying to lay low. If you want to stay here at the Barrel and Bullet, I'll put you up on room and board for free.
I'd be much obliged.
Much obliged.
And I know you's the crafting kind, Chester, going to craft some stuff, Williams, on account of how you're going to craft some stuff. And you might be interested to know that we got a bit of a crafting situation in the backside of the Barrel and Bullet.
Oh, that means I'll have to spend 5 gold to buy an alchemy lab.
Yeah, but we do have a little bit of an alchemy situation going on the backside if you want to make use of the facilities.
Ooh.
But for the rest of y'all, if y'all just want to hang out, lay low, get to know the folks around here, I'll have a job for you guys in a few more days. Or if you have somewhere to go in the meantime, by all means. But basically, you can use that downtime to do stuff that you want, or if you want to use it to prepare for this heist or to go grab Gattleby, there's some special downtime actions you can take to basically scout and prepare for this.
Those might be more important. What are our options?
Yes. So there is a new downtime action that you can take for this called Scout a Route.
I love the rhyme.
This will also apply technically if you want to go scout out like the East of All Brewery. It's the same kind of action.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody had so much fun with that.
You spend half a day scouting a route from Vashon Gattleby's house to the Barrel and Bullet Saloon. Roll a DC 15 athletics, perception, society, or survival check. It basically, there's this, for the GM, system of preparation points, depending on if you get success or critical success. And however many points you get will give you more information about what's going on. So it'll take half a day. If all of you only scouted for the 4 days that you have total, you could do this like 8 times each, which is quite a lot. But I imagine some of you would have other things you want to do. And if you wanted to go earlier than 4 days, you absolutely can. You just that's roughly your kind of limit to where you think Muglin's going to move on Gattleby.
All right.
So with that in place, I'm going to show you around the Barrel and Bullet Saloon real quick.
Real quick. That's like the only downtime activity.
That's the new one.
That's the new one? Okay.
Yeah. And you can do all the regular normal downtime stuff if you want. Like you can do crafting. If there's other like character specific things that you want to do, you can do that as well. But I want to show you something real quick here because we're on the Barrel and Bullet map. So Phoebe shows you guys around. There's some rooms upstairs you guys can stay at. But I'm going to move you guys outside of the Barrel and Bullet to this little side area here.
Oh, this is cool. I love the dynamic lighting. And when we walked outside, the open map became a roof.
Mm-hmm.
Roof!
It's quite nice
to see. There's like a...
is?
A workshop. There we go, Chester. I put you in the workshop.
Oh!
Phoebe will lead you back there after getting you guys situated, and she says, "This is what I call the Bullet Works. do a little bit of crafting, tinkering for this here firearm, but you're welcome to help yourself here. Gattleby will probably make good use of this whenever he arrives here as well. And you see there is a nice little lab set up here.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a well-organized workshop, and it has shelves full of alchemical components and clockwork pieces.
Ooh. Clockwork pieces.
Is there anything you guys want to do now after this? If there's people you want to talk to at the Barrel and Bullet, there's a few like regulars there, and then there's the downtime action. It's really up to you guys. Again, you can do crafting, and I'll give you a little bit more time for it if that's something you want. What you guys interested in doing in this little bit of time you have?
Well, we do need to at least scout away a little bit.
Oh, definitely.
Sure. Now, what is
Very
the
much
advantage
so.
to scouting away once more?
Yeah, so if you
Scout a route.
Scout a route. If you scout a
About to
route,
make a route.
you spend half a day scouting a route from Vashon Gattleby's house to the Barrel and Bullet Saloon. Roll a DC 15, Athletics, Perception, Society, or Survival check. Critical success, you climb to a great vantage point, spot noteworthy details, learn interesting info from locals, or find useful clues related to your escort route. You earn 2 preparation points. Success, you just earn 1 preparation point.
Oh.
And for every point you earn, I got stuff that I get to give to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, at least the first day, I want to scout her out twice.
Twice?
Yeah.
All right, so what do you want
I'd like to attempt that as well.
What do you want to roll for me? You got Athletics, Perception, Survival, or Society?
Haha, I'm going to go with society. Wait, society, yes.
Okay. What'd you get?
There's an 18 on the die, plus 8 is 26.
Wow, that's a critical success.
That's what I was hoping
Nice.
So that's going to be 2 preparation points. The first 2, I'm just going to go in order for all the, there's the more points you get, the more things you learn. So Chester, on the first day, you walk over to Gattleby's house. Do you mind me moving you to the map of Alkenstar?
Go right on ahead.
All right. So you can see here on the map, I'll show this in the video, the Ferris Quarter.
Home, sweet home.
That's the Ferris Quarter, kind of in the middle, north of that would be, north of the river. Ferris Quarter's right here. Gattleby's house is in Steamhaven, which is on the north side of town.
Ooh, that is a pretty distance.
Yep. You can also see Ironside Quarter, where you guys just spent some time. And what you know with your critical success is that Gattleby's house sits away from the road amid an overgrown yard full of sedum, sticky, bushy flowers. A small shed sits in front of the house facing away from the road. The property is enclosed in a chicken wire fence. Make me a nature or crafting check.
Oh,
You said the magic words.
The
and you said
skill that I
crafting.
upped at second level, because, investigator stuff was crafting, so it is currently my highest skill. There's a 15 on the die for a 25.
Oh, all right. So that's going to be a recall knowledge you can do. You identify the sedum as a unique poisonous variety.
Oh.
Basically, it's a plant, but mechanically would operate like a trap. This green and blue stalk is topped with a clump of small flowers resembling broccoli. It's covered in a mildly toxic resin that sticks to the flesh, which is weak, fur, and equipment alike, causing affected creatures to break out in an itchy rash.
Oh, dear.
And it has a fortitude save. It's a poison kind of thing.
And it's all over his yard? Or is that the fence was covered in it?
The yard is overgrown with it.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what you learn. Who else is doing this on the first day?
It depends on whether or not I can do the thing that I want to do.
What do you want to do?
You said we had 4 days.
Yes.
I'm either asking to use the lemon law or the mechanical retraining to get rid of a dumb feat.
What do you want to get rid of?
Streetwise.
Oh, this is a skill feat, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we have a lemon law, especially with learning new stuff. So if you just want to replace it, you don't have to do retraining.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Because
Yeah.
then I can help with some scouting or something. Maybe see from a different angle than Chester did.
Yeah, traditionally the lemon law is when you get to level 2, you can make a decision to change mostly anything. But I'm probably going to be a little bit more generous because of how big this game is and how much we've had to learn playing it. So you want to do scouting as well?
Yes, please.
Scout a route?
I'm thinking that it would be more of a Chester was looking from one perspective. Alonzo might be looking from the perspective of a thief,
Yeah.
of someone who wants to crack in and such.
So do you want to do perception or like athletics or
Perception is +7. It's perception, athletics. I remember one was society.
and survival?
I'm going to do perception.
Okay.
That is a 10 on the die, not too great. 17.
All right, that's a success.
Okay.
Yeah, you're able, maybe you go with Chester. It's up to you. You don't really gain any new information, but mechanically the way this works is you earned another preparation point. So it's like every 2 points you learn something new. So what Chester got was there's this poisoned plant in the yard, and now you're up to like 3. And you definitely see that, and you get some, you see that dealing with the yard's probably going to be trouble. So that's 3 preparation points you guys have earned. Still the first half of this day of downtime. Psyche, is there any downtime actions that you want to take? It doesn't have to be mechanical too. You could also just spend it doing like some roleplay thing that you wanted to take care of.
Psyche is going to use their disguise hat
Okay.
to go and check in on their flock.
On their flock. So this would be at your Temple of Bry you used to be part of?
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing the bird symbol with your hands?
Nah.
But not the flippy off bird, the like flappy bird?
It's more like butterfly, but it's the same.
Flappy
It kind
bird.
of looks like you're doing a very half-hearted Gangnam Style thing.
Just like the lowest energy Gangnam style.
Yeah.
Block up Bryce style. No.
Waka
Oh.
What?
flocka. Okay. You go into the Temple of Bry. There.
Can you use that?
The audience won't be able to hear this.
Okay.
But if you want to turn on just in the background some the Mechanicus original soundtrack, Children of the Omnissiah. I can't put it in because of
Legal reasons.
Copyright.
license reasons, but
And we
that's
don't
what we.
feel like crossing the people at Warhammer 40k.
Nope.
They're scary.
But yeah, you can just put that on right now while we're at the Temple of Bry, and that's what's playing. That's what they have going on the speakers, just on a loop. The Children of the Omnissiah. Is there anyone that you know here that you want to talk to? Because otherwise, like one of the red-robed Adeptus priests of Bry will come up to you and say, "Welcome to Bry's holy sanctum."
Your warm welcome is most appreciated. I am simply here to witness the life within the temple.
You look like you have been healed by Bry's touch. I assume some of you still have some of your clockwork bits, even in your disguise.
Probably.
If you wish to find solace in the Hall of Invention,
Invention?
then please follow me.
That's so metal.
I will follow. I've been there before, right?
Yeah, you've been there before. You know this place like the back of your hand. You worked here.
Okay.
Was this your home at one point?
Is there anyone like in particular you're looking to see, or are you just looking to kind of like recharge your batteries, wind your clockwork spring?
Is there a separate naked cybernetic cat that you framed for the bank?
No, there is not a cybernetic naked cat.
Woo!
It's like you're very specifically based these on cats that they've just seen.
Psyche's dressed up as the cat from Stray.
Sean.
Sean! Sean! I think about that all the time.
Yeah. Sean lives back rent free in the back of my head.
Psyche is going to continue speaking with this person, I assume,
Okay.
as they're walked to the Hall of Invention, and then they're going to slip up and say something that is very familiar, that they, as a new person, should not know. But that Psyche might have known.
And the person, let's just say this is a female, like, dwarf priest of Bry. Just kind of looks at you and then just moves on.
Hey, how's
Yeah.
Jimmy doing?
You remind me of someone, and leads you onto the hall. Is there anything specific you want to do, or just
I am just trying to make sure that everybody's okay. Because I assume that after Psyche was removed, there was a little bit of a, not like a dramatic upheaval, but that can't have been,
Power gap.
That can't have been great.
Yeah, you would know that there's a because this is part of your background, which is that you were cast out, and it's tied back to Mugland wanting some influence here. You know that he doesn't own the leadership of this temple, but a few of his like cronies are like cardinals, yeah, step below the like leadership position. Maybe there's just like posters and ads for his places of business. I don't know. He seems like a sleazy, cheesy guy. Just like Mugland smiling with a thumbs up. Mugland's best foot cream.
I love Bry.
Bry is my favorite. Thumbs up. Go to the next temple over.
Bry is my favorite.
This is my favorite deity in Alkenstar.
Yeah, but you see the Sunday school group of little Bryites in the little clockwork hats.
The little glasses on.
That is so cute.
Learning about the legend of Tim Alkenstar. No, it's not his name. It's Ansel Alkenstar.
Ooh.
You could have changed it.
Tim Alkenstar. I am the god of this world.
You are the god of this world.
You could have had this town be Timston.
I respect you guys too much to do that. That would be heresy.
I don't.
Heresy!
Yeah.
I don't.
But unless you have anything else, you can spend, I guess, half a day, maybe the day, just kind of meeting up.
I'm trying to get insight as to what Mugland has done here.
It's not so much something that you can get from a single visit. What you would have known from when you were cast out is just he wants like influence and power here, right? He wants to, if he needs someone from the church to help in one of his schemes, to have a guy, someone he knows. If he needs the church to look the other way for one of his schemes, that kind of thing. Where Psycheer is very much maybe not mainstream Bry beliefs, but very passionate about your interpretation of Bry worship.
The correct one.
Right. What Mugland has done that you can see, and you would have known this before even having to come back here, is that it's just so much less in focus, and it's more about trying to use the Church of Bry as a bit of a political power and also just like an underworld power wielding influence.
Secularized it?
Or he's put people in charge that don't really care so much about the flock of Bry, but give him access to church resources.
Oh, he made it a mega church.
Sure. Yes.
You'd find like people who aren't members of the church using some of the labs or the crafting tables.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe he moves his money through church donations.
Oh.
Penis. Unallowed.
It's not something that's immediately visible from visiting it, though.
Okay.
Burn it down. Start anew.
Exterminatus.
Exterminatus.
Brother. The flamer.
The
heavy flamer.
But what I will say, from spending time in the house of worship and kind of recharging your batteries, you can take a hero point.
Ooh.
Not a bottle cap, but a hero point.
Those get reset in 2 episodes. You need to use it. Use it now.
So we'll say that's the first half of the first day of downtime. Which probably move things along just a little bit here.
Yeah.
Got another set of actions for the first day. What do you guys wanted to do? More scouting?
Let me ask you this. Is there a way to gain, what were the points called again?
Preparation points.
Is there another way to get preparation points without doing the scouting?
Oh, sure. I'll allow anything that you want to give me.
Then here, there was something I wanted to do for Chester.
Okay.
But I didn't know if I wasn't going to do it if I could have a chance to get another point instead.
Mechanically, the action you're supposed to take is that, but if you can come up with a way, I'll allow other rolls.
I have a way I can do that, because this would also be a society roll, I believe. Chester's going to go back to his apartment that he had in some back alley real cheap because, he lost his stipend from the college maybe while he was there. He goes inside of his room. He packs up everything he has, which isn't a lot, and then he's going to move that to the bar.
Okay.
And what it is as he's unpacking what he had set up in his room, basically his whole room was devoted to one of those detective boards with the red yarn, connecting, and there was pictures of Muglin with a big red circle around it, and a slightly smaller, though still large picture of Loveless with a circle around it, and he is recreating that from fresh in his room at the bar, so that he can. This is his investigation into them. So he'll have like obtained a new picture of Gattleby, and he'll pin that up, and he'll connect Gattleby to he'll find an article about whatever the explosion was at the college.
Yeah.
He'll connect that with he is making a detective board, and I figured this would be a society roll.
I'll give you
fun.
I'll give you a choice. So you're going to spend your second downtime half day on the first day, right? Second half of the day doing this. You can either take a hero point for kind of like doing character stuff that's relevant, or you can make a society check as if you were scouting a route.
I will do society check.
Okay.
That is a 9 plus society is 8, 17.
All right, so that'll give
17.
you another preparation point, and that'll put you at 4, thanks to Alonzo. And Chester, I guess this kind of makes sense with you pulling all this information together that you've been building up. You find out, maybe through a little bit of research and digging around, that the Yeast of All Brewery seems like it's been out of business for a while. And if you take a walk by it later in the day, all the windows are boarded up from the inside, and all the doors look locked up. That seems a little bit odd that he would want to go there.
I don't suppose if I found any evidence that he owned this at one point.
You don't know.
Okay.
You have no way to connect him to it.
That is the information, is the brewery's been closed for a while.
Yeah. Okay. So Alonzo and Psyche, we got another action you can do today. Psyche, if you just want to spend the whole day there, that's fine too.
No, I think that I would join Chester afterwards to scope out the brewery so that we could discuss a plan.
All right, make me either athletics, perception, society, or survival.
If I can.
Okay, I'll do perception.
This would be an investigation, basically, right? For Psyche.
Yes.
This is if you allow it, I want to clue Psyche in, because this is related to something that is part of my pursue a lead, which is Muglin, and I want to give them a +1.
So you will go ahead. What did you go on the die, Psyche?
12.
12 for a total of
17 without the help.
17 without the help, 18 with.
Yes.
I'll allow it. It doesn't mechanically change what the outcome is, but you did get another preparation point. That doesn't put you at another piece of information. But yeah, you guys have been Google Mapsing, like by foot, the route between the bar and Gattleby's house, finding the different routes, seeing which ones are more dangerous or not. Okay, so next last for today will be Alonzo. Do you want to scout a route again, or is there something else you want to do?
First of all, I can tell you I've already picked what my different feat will be.
Okay, yeah.
For fixing my lemon law thing. I'm choosing steady balance.
Steady balance, what does that do for you?
Whenever you roll a success for balance, you get a critical instead. You are not flat-footed when attempting to balance, and it's in the player's guide for strongly recommended.
Interesting.
Also, I don't have the best acrobatics because I'm not the strongest.
Okay.
So this would be kind of more helpful than my old one, which did absolutely nothing for me because the thing it replaced was lower than...
Yeah. Now, they
Yeah.
are skill feats, so they're a little less clutch than stuff like regular feats, but yeah. All right, cool. So what do you want to do for the second half of the first day?
Alonzo, now that he's actually spent a turn scouting and he has a couple of days, I actually want to have him, if I can mechanically do this, slide back to the Ferris Quarter and update his bow on his, check in on her, even if he doesn't get to see her.
Yeah, I mean, the barrel and bullet is in the Ferris Quarter, so you can. Obviously, you have to be a little careful because you're a wanted person over there, but you do have a hat.
I was going to put on the hat and just make sure that she was all right.
Do you want to roleplay that at all, or do you want to just kind of broad strokes it?
Well, his girl is the tanner's daughter, and he's a little concerned about her because they like each other a lot, and she's not been updated on anything ever since he was on the lam from the law.
Okay.
So,
Lamb.
So I imagine maybe she's just working in the tannery, or maybe you go to her place later in the day. What's your disguise look like with your hat?
I imagine he's just gonna look like he's a locksmith.
Looks like a bouncer.
How about a redhead? That's kind of gross.
Smelly.
Oh my God! You're just describing Kat's previous rogue, Owen. It's the perfect disguise.
No one would suspect Owen.
Stinkman.
He just doesn't disguise. I mean, I guess it would actually work because Alonzo is actually a quite dapper dude.
Is this how we Easter egg our other adventures with hats of disguise?
But he just wants to check up on her. He cares, and it's kind of starting to dawn on him that if he doesn't start figuring this thing out, their chances of staying together, getting slimmer, and it's kind of emotionally eating at him.
I'll say, Alonzo, you go check in on her, and she is thrilled to see you. She's excited to see you. She gives you hugs, kisses. You scare the crap out of her because of your disguise.
Yeah,
sneaking up on her.
She's like, "Who's this smelly dude coming up to see me?"
Everyone gets scared of Owen. Get out of here, Owen.
Feared.
I'm sorry, Owen. But yeah, I'll let you
Owen.
take a hero point for that.
I think I said her name was Eleanor.
We're going and meeting up
It
with
was either
Eleanor.
Eleanor or Amelia. I'm gonna go with Eleanor.
And Eleanor, despite the fact that you already cleaned yourself probably after the scrapyard, advises you to bathe.
Yeah.
So yeah, take a hero point.
Sweet. I just want him to check in on his girl.
Oh, hey, real quick.
Yeah,
Whenever we sell stuff in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, do we get half value?
I believe so.
Because if that's the case, this would also be a good time for us to sell our hand wraps of Mighty Blows.
It usually takes 1 day of downtime to sell off a few goods or shop around to buy a couple items. So if you want to do buying and selling, that'll cost some downtime time. An item can usually be sold at its full price, or can be purchased for its full price and sold for half its price.
Okay.
Supply and demand adjust these numbers, but only occasionally. So it's the same kind of basic rules that you sell things for half price. I don't see it explicitly laid out, but usually if you get stuff like gems, it's not sold at full price.
Yeah.
Because it's basically a different form of currency.
We'll do that our last day then.
Okay, so that's 1 day down. Let's move things a little bit quicker here. You have 3 more days. Do you want to spend all your time scouting?
Points.
I'm scouting.
All right, so both of you, I guess if you're going to spend the whole day scouting, roll twice for me.
I'll work on this as well.
All right, roll twice as well.
Can I spend a hero point on it?
You can spend a hero point on one of the rolls, or you can spend 2 hero points on both.
I'll spend 1.
I'm spending 1 on my
What do they
first
do
roll.
again?
It can be perception, athletics, survival, or society.
What
And-
do hero
Oh, well
points
spent.
Say what?
do? What do hero points do?
It's just roll twice, take the better.
Okay.
And I'm gonna make this simpler for me and I'm gonna pursue a lead on Gatlinburg. Gattleby. Just so because all of this would kind of fall under either the purview of him or Muglin. So that gives me a +1 to all these rolls.
Yeah, absolutely. So
and every half a day I can give one of them a +1 as
all right,
well.
let's go for the first half then. Psych here.
19.
Chester.
25.
19 and 25. All right, so that's 1 and then 2 for you because you critically succeeded.
And then I'm
So
going to
that'd be 3
give
total.
Alonzo a point.
Okay, and then
That's
Alonzo.
a total of 20 for first half.
Okay, so that'd be
used a hero point for
4
that.
more points. I think that puts you at 5. That puts you at 9. All right, so you learn 2 more things this first half day. The best place to cross the Estradi, which is the river that cuts Alkenstar in half, is an old stone bridge that many people call the Bottleneck Bridge. So this is a weird thing. Basically, where you have to go from Ferris Quarter to Steamhaven to get to him, from Steamhaven to Ironside to get to the Yeast of All Brewery, and then from Ironside back to Ferris Quarter. And it says to cross the Eustrati, but what I'm going to say is you probably have to cross this little lake thing in the middle as part of your route. And what you would know, that there's this bridge called the Bottleneck Bridge, which I think you can see on the map. And there's like vendors set up there with tents and wheels and carts to trade during the day, and at night the shield marshals set up a checkpoint on the bridge to reduce smuggling. And then you also know that near one of the unrented stalls at the Bottleneck Bridge are some cigar butts with gunpowder on the mouthpiece. So you think there's probably people scouting to set up an ambush there.
Oh. So we shouldn't go through there then.
No, you're going to have to.
Oh.
No, but the ambush would cause a distraction for us to get through.
No, the ambush is for us.
Basically, you get the idea that this is one of the places they're looking to ambush you.
Yeah.
Mechanically, you'll get a bonus to your initiative roll if you go through there.
Cool.
Because you'll expect it. All right, that's the first half. What about the second half?
Oh, no, what was the two pieces? Oh, those were both pieces
of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, the second half? I want to go first. My roll was a natty 19 for a 26.
Geez, that's a critical success. They'll take you to 11. Chester?
That's a 19 plus 9 for 28.
That's another critical success. They'll
I'm
take
going to clue in Psych here for the second
We are
half of the day.
preparation junkies.
Yeah, you are.
That's a natural one.
Aw.
For 7.
Well, Psych here, you're not able to gain anything on the second part of the day. But all of you working together, you've maxed out your preparation points.
Already?
Yeah.
Yes!
Between
Nice.
all of you together. At this one, you'll know that there is some nearby shops undergoing renovations, which would be the perfect hiding spots for an ambush. An anonymous tip to the shield marshals, remember, not all of them are corrupt,
Yes.
should get those sites shut down, which may reduce some people's ability to ambush you. These shops would be nearby the aforementioned Bottleneck Bridge.
Okay.
And then lastly, back alleys and side streets, you find some alternate routes. And noting those gives you a bonus on your checks that you'll need later on in the whenever you start moving Gattleby. Basically, as a preview here, there's going to be some special adventure path mechanics, and now you'll get a +2 on all those checks because you have maxed out your preparation. I was wondering, as the GM, if I let you guys in on the fact that you can prepare for a heist thing like this, how far you guys would go, and I should have known it would have been
all the way
to the max.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And what I'm going to say, because you all worked together and crushed it, take a hero point, all of you, especially because you spent one.
Yay!
Not a bottle cap, a hero point.
I realized that, honestly, at level 2, it's not that big a difference between buying and crafting it unless I have a lot of time.
That's fair. Okay.
And I'm assuming we would be reset on all abilities, hit points, etc. by this point.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so basically we rested. Where's
You've
the
rested
button for
twice
that?
at this point. So they'll go into the third day of downtime. If you guys have anything else you want to do, you can do it. Otherwise, you could actually start this early if you felt like it.
The next day, buy and sell.
Buy and
yes,
sell,
buying
spend
and
the whole day.
selling.
Okay.
I'll leave you guys to do that. Psyker is going to just kind of interact with maybe a hospital or something and
Volunteer.
heal, yes.
All right. Yeah, you probably have a place that you volunteered with before that's not looking for you specifically, like the people at the church might be. So you can go ahead and do that. And then you guys can buy and sell. We'll handle that off air, of course, because that'll take a hot minute.
I can tell you how much money we get real easy right off the bat.
Oh, really?
From what I can tell, we really only have one thing to sell.
Uh-huh.
Because everything else we got was money or potions that may have already been drank.
Uh-huh.
And the hunk of cold iron. That 2 things. I don't know how much that's worth, though.
Okay.
So we can do that later if you want to. Never mind.
So third day is just going to be buying and selling. And then fourth day, do you want to start early or do you have anything else you want to do?
I would like to start
Yeah, let's
early.
start early.
Quick question. Does anything interesting happen at the bar at night? Because not like we come in and collapse.
I mean, there's some people that you see that are regulars now. We don't have to get into it too much since we're kind of getting close to the heist here.
Yeah.
But
Did we tip off the shield marshals?
Yeah.
that was part of what you did. Yeah.
Okay, good.
You see that there's some regulars now that you hang out there. There's this Shuni who hangs out at the bar like almost every evening. A Shuni is kind of like a dog person.
Cool.
The little pug people.
Do you want me to, I got some art I can throw up in the
Yes,
video.
please.
Absolutely.
Art is always fun.
This isn't unique to this guy, but this is like the Shuni art from Pathfinder.
That's a kobold.
Shut up. Here's the Shuni artwork.
Pug person.
I love him.
Pugman.
You find out there's this Shuni guy. I mean, over the time of your staying there, his name is Alson Yuman. He just like to hang out at the bar. The food here is pretty good.
Oh, he would sound
struggle.
If anything happens to him, I'll kill everybody in this room.
I
other than
know,
myself.
Avenge my death.
Alonzo in his head swears to avenge his death if anything happens to this adorable man.
brachiophilic.
Yes.
Is that it?
One of the bartenders or people who actually works at the bar, he can work some tables as a goblin. But he's not a trash goblin. He's got like a little. Actually, I have art for him as well. There's going to be the art slideshow here. Since
Sweet.
you guys have been there. You guys haven't talked to these people yet because you've been so focused on preparing for this. But there's this guy. He works at the bar. His name is Nicol.
Oh, he's a smooth operator.
He's suave.
I'm not gonna lie though, his face does freak me out.
If you ever interact with him, he has an unnaturally deep goblin voice. My name is Nicol. I'm a bartender here, if you don't mind.
I love his jaunty pose.
That's just a couple of them. I don't want to go through all the people who work at the bar straight away, but this place is pretty great.
Listen, we'll have plenty of time to interact with them. It's not like this escort mission is going to take so many episodes.
Yeah,
It'll
who
be
knows?
great.
But yeah, that's the things you would know just hanging out at the bar. There's some funny people here, and then there's obviously Phoebe Dunsmith, and she's kind of interesting because now you've seen like her like. The fact that she works for the Grand Duchess is a little bit more secretive. When she interacts with the public, she's more like charismatic bar owner kind of person. But yeah, you guys have crushed. You are the Google Maps of Alkenstar at this point. You can name all the routes from Ferris Quarter to Steamhaven to Ironside Quarter. And on the fourth day, you let Phoebe know that you're starting early.
Yeah. Like a bit of a flavor advantage, not waiting as long as we could have.
Good on you guys. Y'all are hard workers. I knew I picked the right crew. And you guys set on out to Gattleby's house in Steamhaven. And you see, again, the place that you've scouted out so many times with the overgrown walls and the chicken wire fence. And that is what we're going to get into next episode.
Yes!
Ooh.
Thanks for tuning in to the Downtime episode.
Downtime.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Third Gallon Podcast. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing us. If you want to see more from us, check out our website, thirdgallon.com, or follow us on Twitter. We are at Third Gallon, that's THIRD Gallon. You can also tweet at us using the hashtag Third Gallon, and we are on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook with the same handle, at Third Gallon. We also publish a video version of the podcast on YouTube, which you can find on our channel, The Third Gallon. Our theme for this season is Delta Rust, composed by Andy Ellison. Our ambience for this episode was composed by Michael Ghelfi, and you can find more of his work on his YouTube channel, Michael Ghelfi Studios. And you can support his awesome work at patreon.com/Michael Ghelfi. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.